Hey guys, here's a quick video on how I use a looper to work on my rhythm guitar chops, work on my soloing, and also how I use it on solo gigs when I'm just playing by myself to extend the song and enjoy myself with including solos in these solo acoustic gigs. You're going to use the looper to work on your rhythm guitar playing to make sure you're actually getting pretty good and you're fun to play with. You want to be a person who can back up another guitar player or a singer, just sound good in the band. So the first thing I'm going to show you is that you want to begin your loop and end your loop on beat 1. Yeah, so you want to push record on beat 1 and you want to stop your recording on beat 1. Now, I'll show you what that looks like, but I also want to point out that I highly suggest you splurge and get a 2-button looper. It's just way too hard to do a double click and keep it in time. That's one of the biggest challenges that people have, is that there's a hiccup when the loop cycles and comes back around. There's a little hiccup and the time is weird. We're already going to be struggling with playing solos over our own sloppy rhythm guitar. Part of this is that you're going to get really good at playing rhythm guitar because you'll instantly have to suffer for your own bad rhythm guitar playing. I'll show you what that means. So I'm going to start my loop on beat 1 and end it on beat 1 so that I have a seamless loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to stop it on beat 1. Thank God I have the 2-button looper, because doing a double tap to get that to stop would have made it very hard to keep my rhythm happening. We want to make this easy. Here we go. Let's see if my loop has a hiccup between the beginning and the end. So I can play over that, no problem. Here it comes around. You can see on my looper, pretty close. So I can hear the difference, but it was close enough to where I could actually enjoy myself and make a solo over that. So I erase with the stop button. And this is probably the simplest looper situation you can have, this Boss loop station. Doesn't matter what brand you got. Unless you're becoming one of these loop artists who wants to like layer all these loops live and stuff, that would be a different approach. We're using this as like a roots Americana country guy, blues guy, rockabilly guy. You want to improve your rhythm guitar playing and your solos, this is the way to go. Simple situation. Stop with this, or start with this one, record with this one, stop with this one. 2-button looper. There's plenty of different brands you can get, but this is the most simple one that I could get together for this video. Let's try a whole 12-bar blues, which is really going to make you a great guitar player if you can play a solid rhythmic 12-bar blues and keep the changes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go, the 4 chord. To the 1. I might be speeding up a little bit. I don't think so though. 5, 4. And the walk down. Remember, I gotta stop on beat 1. So I actually played on beat 1 too, so that to make sure that there's music happening as the recording stops. It's another mistake people do, is they'll push stop, but they didn't actually play a note, so it still sounds like there's a little gap. I have learned this the hard way on some gigs and had some really bad loops in front of an audience. And it's cool, man. You just stop and then keep playing. You got to be willing to, fall flat on your face in front of all these people. But if you practice at home, you probably won't fall too flat. You'll be okay. You'll be able to recover. You'll just start playing guitar again and push stop. Once again, that's why the 2-button thing makes a lot of sense. 1 button for stopping and erasing. So if something's going bad, you could just stop it. Anyway, I digress. Now I'm going to solo over my loop. Oh, man. So I'm really able to hear what's happening with the rhythm and the chords now. Is there a hiccup? Okay, it wasn't bad. It wasn't perfect, but I think most people wouldn't notice, especially if I was on a gig. But now this is giving me the ability, so I stop it with my stop pedal. This is giving me the ability to really feel the groove and see how I play the rhythm guitar and what it's like to play with myself. That was not supposed to sound like that. You get the point. What it's like to be somebody who's playing alongside me. Like, man, that rhythm was very solid compared to how I was feeling it. As a soloist, I was a little nervous, a little antsy. I'm playing for you guys. Man, you better play a good solo. All that BS was happening, and I realized that the rhythm guitar part was much slower and much more grooving than I was feeling it. And so if you're just putting on a backing track or you're just noodling without some kind of rhythm guitar behind you, you're probably going to be training yourself to be like rushing and over anticipating. I've been using this looper for maybe 15 years now. I used to do this acoustic gig in California where I had to fill 4 hours, and I wasn't going to sing for 4 hours. I was going to be really rough on my voice, so I put together a bunch of instrumentals where I would loop the chords, not like a loop artist where I'm building it, but maybe like a jazz standard or something where I would loop the chords so that I could solo and play the melody on top of that. I didn't realize at the time that I was actually training myself to be a much better accompanist. At the time, I was just trying to get the most out of the gig and, not kill my voice. I digress. If you're playing a simpler song, so a 12-bar blues is going to be a good place to start because it's going to train you to really be accountable for what chords are happening at the time. A lot of people think that they can play the blues. It's just the minor pentatonic. It's just 1-4-5. Anybody says that, don't trust them, because most people who spend enough time with the blues know that it takes a significant amount of training to get it to where you can internalize that first 4 measures of the one chord, or when the turnaround is coming. You want to play blues tunes, if you're going to be a blues guy, enough to where you don't have to think about like, oh, wait, does the 4 chord come right now? I know you veteran blues players are like, of course, man, what are you saying? But people that are just starting out, they get lost in these 4 bars. In fact, I know a lot of people that go, man, I cannot play a song without the chart or without somebody telling me what's happening. It's like maybe like a jam band thing where maybe the jam is like on 2 chords. That doesn't really have a cadence or a form that you feel like it's getting to the end. So you don't really need to keep track of what's happening in the song. Well, that doesn't really train you to play in a band or play in a song where like, don't miss the bridge. You better be right in on the bridge because the singer is going to come in, and if you don't come in right then on the bridge, that type of training is an elevated type of like song form training, and the looper can help you do that for sure. So even if you looped an entire song to the chart, you'll actually be learning it as you make your own backing track to solo on. So let's just do another example. Let's say that you have like a funk tune, like a funky tune, like Feeling All Right. 1, 2, 3 on the downbeat. Better play it on the downbeat. I mean, hit the button on the downbeat, which I did. And I should have a pretty seamless loop. It's coming back around again. I like this one because it shows you when the loop's about to end. Yeah, pretty close. So you can see how on a tune like that, it would be really easy to get lost because it doesn't really have, what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of jamming. You could just play one thing over the whole thing. You could run a minor pentatonic over the whole thing. So you can start to feel pretty good, like you're sounding pretty good, but then you go to play in a band where they actually have song forms or you're backing up a singer, you just don't have the training of knowing, like keeping this elevated, big picture view of what's happening. So this video is about the looper, so we'll keep talking about the looper. You can use this for so many songs to practice your solo section. I mean, even if maybe you're not like a blues or a country guy or something like that. Now let's do... E minor, D, C, and back to D. Okay, once again, I played on the downbeat and I hit the stop button on the downbeat. But even though that's kind of just like a sound, it's not a chord progression the way that you, like a blues or a country or a jazz player would play, you still want to maybe play your solo and access what notes are in those chords. So let's try it. That's in the D chord, right? I'm like, that note didn't sound right over the C chord. That's when you really start to learn about making a solo that speaks to people. So now I'm looking at the chords that I'm playing on the loop because I looped it. You're not going to get that if you just type in E minor backing track on YouTube. You're not responsible for the chords, so you don't really access them in your solo. This might be over your head. This might not be your thing. That's cool. Maybe you just want to come home from work and noodle. That's fine too, man. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good that you're playing. But I urge you to spend a little bit of time learning to play songs, keep forms together, and work on your rhythm guitar playing so that you could put something together with other people and you could bring other people in. You guys can enjoy the music together. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please hit me with a comment or a question. And I hope this gave you some insight on making the looper work for you. There's a learning curve. It's frustrating in the beginning, but I think you'll really get a lot out of it if you spend time doing it. Thanks for watching.